How's it going, guys? So, I know I said I wouldn't talk about you know who, but the impeachment trial, I'm getting requests for that. Will he be convicted in the Senate? A lot of people want to know what's going on. That's, making the news. If I do it, it's got to hopefully be my final thing. But I have to admit, I'm kind of curious what the cards would say. Obviously, there's a lot of Republicans who do not want to go forward with no trial, but it looks like it's going forward. But the thing in the news, which is kind of wild, is that Trump had like 5 attorneys lined up and they all abandoned him. So they all quit. And it looks like the reason why is because he wanted them, he's trying to tell them what to do, of course. And he wants them to go into that there was voter fraud. Okay. So, enough of this, but he's still on it. He wants that thrown in and everything else. And so they all quit, and he was probably just bossing them around and telling them what to do. And hey, maybe they got wind that he's probably never going to pay them. Just like, Giuliani, he said he's not going to pay him either. So maybe they were like, oh, this guy's not even going to pay us. We might get a little fame and be famous for like defending him, but we'll never get any money and stuff. But yeah, talking about voter fraud, they could lose a lot of clients. I would think that would be a thing like, oh, they're one of those people. So maybe they, I'm sure they thought of their own careers. Let's put it that way. So yeah, I will go ahead and pull cards. I'm trying not to talk about it much anymore, but I will pull cards on it just to see what's going on, to appease some people who would like to know. Now, what I do want to pull cards on is that, Marjorie Greene, that congresswoman, oh, she's awful. She's awful. Oh my God. Sandy Hook and Parkland are supposedly, stage, everything, all that's fake, 9/11. The conspiracy theories just don't end. They're unbelievable. And she thinks the election was stolen. Does she even believe her own rhetoric? If she does, but she's a wackadoodle. She's a wackadoodle, and she's very dangerous. She's called for the deaths of Democrats and Nancy Pelosi, and yet she sits there in office. So I know Democrats want her out. And one of the things I'll kind of focus on, pull some cards, and see if it's even possible that they would even get their way with that. I don't feel too good on that, to be honest, because I think it's kind of hard to get a representative out. Look how hard it, trying to get Trump out when he was doing all this insurrectionist stuff. You see how hard it is. So how, it's not gonna be, it wouldn't be easy to remove her, but I will pull cards on it. So let's start with her and get her out of the way, because I can read her a little quicker. Let's see what kind of cards we get for her. So, let's see. So, Marjorie Greene, the fruitcake. Let's see what kind of cards she gets. She's very heavily, deeply into QAnon. And, sometimes, does she really believe this stuff? Or does she just enjoy playing games? What's her thing, But, very dangerous, the things she says. Maybe she enjoys appealing to those people. Whoops, cards are falling. But they're not flying out. But yeah, she's definitely, oh, she's just nuttier than a fruitcake. Oh my God. But I don't know if they can get her out. But yeah, we'll look at the impeachment. He is impeached, the Senate trial and everything. But yeah, all the lawyers abandoned him. Because he wants to hold on to that election fraud thing. When it's, this is about what happened at the Capitol. Is he going to try to say somehow he's justified by sending people there? What's his plan? It's really crazy. But yeah, we'll look at it. Cut the deck. Okay, let's see with this one. So we got the sorrow card. That makes me feel like the school shootings and obviously 9/11. Those were very tragic events in our history. And so this is very upsetting to families that lost someone. And her like purporting that everything is a hoax and so forth is very upsetting to them. So right there, I mean, that is bad. And we've got the star opposing. Now this represents America and hope and everything. This is to represent the good part of America when I see the star, though. Like we've got Biden, and I've been seeing the star for that and everything. Let me scoot this over a little bit so you guys can see. Yeah, and I've got the Knight of Pentacles below. So I feel like, like people that back her with money and stuff, there's a lot of that going on. She's definitely getting paid for this. And then there's Trump, the Knight of Swords. She's definitely a Trump supporter. We know that. And, he's backing her as well. He's completely supportive. She tweeted that she had a phone call with him. And I believe that would be true. I don't feel that she is making that up. I've got the moon, and that is especially about, a deception, and it can be confusion and illusions. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say that she does believe some of this stuff. I will go ahead and say she's very confused, and her mind has just been taken over. So I will say that. But I want to kind of note that she had a black heart to begin with. So sticking all these conspiracy theories in there just made her even more sinister. So I do have the World. So definitely entering a new cycle with her in office and so forth. This is more in the past position that I'm going on. And then I have the Four of Cups. Now, Four of Cups for me, if you notice in tarot, normally it shows a man refusing the cup. And I've told you guys that was Trump refusing the results of the election. The Four of Cups stands for her, that she too, she wears the mask that says stop the steal. Okay, so she's refusing the results. So I've got the opportunity. That's kind of making me feel the Democrats may have an opportunity to be able to get her out. But what would be the opportunity here? I kind of look at, and they're very worried about her behavior. I've got the Five of Pentacles. I feel like this makes me feel everybody's worried, that she's going to possibly incite something very bad. They don't feel safe with her in there, with her, with these conspiracy theories, especially when she's calling for the death of Democrats. They don't feel safe. I do have adjustment, which is justice. So that is very possible. We could see something where they're going to try to get her out of office. I feel like she's going to tweet something or push it too far. Yeah. And see, this is in her position, is the Death card. That does not look good for her. I can tell you that right now. Okay, so I'm a little hopeful now because I don't like that lady and she's very dangerous. Okay, the Death card in her position, and everything. At least only one term, but will they take that opportunity and stuff? So actually, I would feel even before that. Let me pull a clarifier for that. Yeah, about the Queen of Wands, that's Nancy Pelosi. I have a feeling Nancy Pelosi is going to be behind something to get her out of there and stuff. Because obviously she called for the death of Nancy Pelosi. So yeah. But see, I feel what they're doing right now is they're so busy with this trial coming up that they're just waiting. And yeah, see, we've got that change card. So I have a feel that, once the thing settles with this trial with Trump in the Senate and everything, and we've got that power card. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, she's being backed by money, dirty money. What's the outcome? I got the Princess of Wands, and then I've got the Magician. So, the Magician kind of makes me feel, I feel her getting somebody to kind of protect her with that. We got that Bag of Tricks, but I got that High Priestess. Now, this is about secrets coming out. So she's going to try to get someone to protect her with that Magician. Now, the Princess of Wands, that makes me feel Nancy Pelosi actually taking action. That makes me feel the Democrats. Because Nancy Pelosi shows us the Queen of Wands and we got the Princess of Wands. That makes me feel some more Democrat action. Also notice the Ace of Wands is in there. They're going to take the opportunity, all that fire. So I do definitely feel they're going to come after her. They're going to come after her. But I feel with the high priestess, we got secrets that are going to come out that are going to come to surface, that are going to be real unsettling, that are going to expose how deep this rabbit hole goes with her. That, just like QAnon, it's like a rabbit hole, right? It's like going down a rabbit hole. But I actually do feel they are going to hold her to the fire for this. There's going to be something they are going to try to take action to get her out. Seeing the death card in her position kind of makes me feel, especially with Nancy Pelosi standing right there. Okay? So I have a feeling it's coming. They're coming for her. I'll tell you that right now. Something's going to go down. They're ready. I'm going to take a coffee. I'm getting ready for the next one. Very interesting. I wasn't sure what I would see. I never am, to be honest. But I was very open-minded on that. I wasn't sure. But I feel like they're waiting until this gets done. And then they're going to come for her. Because she is just... She's bad. She's bad. Okay, here's the big one. And let's see. I know you guys have been wanting to know what I would get on this. But yeah, it's good to see the death card in her position. I'm not saying I wish death on her. It's just to end her job. Put an end to her job. But Nancy Pelosi sitting right next to her. That is extremely interesting. Very interesting. Let me just shake them up. Okay, let's see. So we're going to look at the trial in the Senate. Now, the Magician usually pops for me for counsel when I read a court type of case. I know it's not your traditional court case. So that would show for me. I mean, he's got to have some kind of representation. Somebody's got to... hope. Is it going to be Giuliani? Oh, God, he's not skilled enough to take on a case like that. He needs serious, real good representation, but he won't let up on that election fraud thing, see? I don't know, guys. It's going to be intense. Okay, trying to focus. It's kind of funny. I wasn't going to talk about him, but it's kind of like Al Pacino and Scarface. They keep pulling me back in. They keep pulling me back in. I have, getting requests to read the impeachment. And I have to admit, nothing can make me, but, I am curious. What kind of cards would I see for it? So I would hope it's going to be one of the last things I read. It's been nice not to think about him. I had days where he didn't cross my mind, and it was really pleasant, to be honest. Okay, let me focus. Just like, oh, look at Biden. Is Biden my president? Wake up in the morning. Who's my president? Biden. Okay. It's nice. Okay, let's see what's going on. And then the Knight of Swords showed up in the last read to represent Trump. We'll see if it pops up again. Got the Ace of Cups. Let me sit on that for a minute, exactly what that means. Actually, I kind of feel, that actually makes me feel the Democrats, that they are kind of loving this, to get him in there and everything, because, they're kind of having that finally moment. There's Nancy Pelosi. Obviously, it's going to the Senate, though, but just to kind of represent, this is what she really wants. He was impeached in the House. We know that. This is just a matter of the Senate now. Oh, I don't like that Eight of Cups, though. I'm a little nervous about that. But that's at the foundation. There you go. See what I was talking about, Magician? He will get an attorney. Okay, so he's going to get an attorney. That is going to pop up and so forth. So, yeah, he'll find some representation. Is it going to be Giuliani, though? Look at the Eight of Pentacles. No, that actually makes me feel someone fairly skilled should take up the case. As far as having a team, let me look one more. Oh, he's probably going to pay someone pretty good. He actually will possibly pay the bill. I've got the Ace of Pentacles. But I'm a little concerned about what we got here going on. with this Eight of Cups, because that can be to walk away from something, but it's not the outcome. So let's, but that's what he wants to do. Let me pull, and then we got debauch, the 7 deadly sins sitting right here. Okay, so maybe we can't walk away. We're going to be held accountable. There we got the Princess of Wands. That's making me feel that Democrat energy and so forth is ripping, roaring, ready to go. At the 6 of Cups, the pleasure. Yeah, they're taking pleasure in this. They want him out. There he is. There's the Knight of Swords. Okay, so we know he's got to have an attorney. He'll find representation. We know he is. Somebody's going to take it, right? They got to, and everything. He's going to pay. He's going to have to pay a little bit more than he wants to. Okay, but I feel he'll have someone skilled enough. We've got that 8 of Pentacles. So somebody's going to be working on it. So we got that. Okay, now you remember, for those who follow my videos, the Knight of Cups was Mike Pence. I feel he may have to testify or something to what's going on that day. He may be called as a witness, because who were they coming after? Okay, hang Mike Pence, right? That was the whole thing. One of the main things to go to the Capitol was to pressure this guy to somehow, send all these electoral votes back and all that. It was something he didn't have the power to do, but everybody was coming. This was their guy. This is the one. Pelosi too. They really wanted him. So he may have to testify, and I don't feel he feels good about that, but I have a feeling he may have to. And yes, we've got the Eon, which is also judgment. So Judgment Day is coming here. This is going to be a big one. This is going to be very interesting. Now, I look at the Game card. That has been a big thing. They may bring up some money involved in this. Some of the more scandalous things that had to do with like these, raising money for legal fund and contributions and things like that. Yeah, because I've got the Prince of Discs. So there's going to be a little bit of that going on as well. Let me go ahead and look a little bit here. Ooh, I got that Death card. Okay, let me sit on that for a minute and everything. That's not, ooh. Very interesting. We got the World going into that new cycle. Absolutely. Oh, Trump, you got the 8 of Swords. That's in the environment. That can show for me for like jail, and everything, conviction. We got the Chariot, and what's the final card? We've got the Empress. So let me meditate on that a little bit. That makes me feel some of the feminine, the women and everything in the Senate may be the ones who really top this off. I've got the Change card, and then I got the Fool. Okay, this is pretty intense stuff, but at the same time, that Power card. So looking at it, that is kind of interesting that the 8 of Swords and Death does show. Definitely the good thing about this, of course he's always going to be scheming and stuff. He got a taste of politics and how much money you can make. Okay. He got it and the perks of it and stuff like that. So, and I told you guys, there's been talk of it. It's buried in one of my videos, but I talked to you guys when I saw 2 of Wands that I felt that he may start his own political party. And there's talk of that right now. And I told you guys, because what happened was the 2 of Wands, I was feeling, your regular old conservative Republicans are going one way, but a new party is forming. Okay, something very different and stuff. And so that's where I felt that people were going to kind of diverge at that road and kind of, split. So I do feel a new party, could come out of this and everything. And that's some of that power and so forth. But one of the things, what I'm kind of meditating on, and we got that moon, we got a lot, there's a lot of confusion and things like that that's going to go on. Looking at the way things, I look at the Chariot, and a lot of that makes me feel how he just kind of sent everybody to go forward, and do this, with that day at the Capitol, to go to war. Because the Chariot can be, like, kind of like going to war, like you're going to charge in, right? That's what he's doing. What does a Chariot do, right? They're going to go to war. So he sent them and stuff like that. Now that's in the hopes and fears position. So that kind of makes me feel that's the big thing. Is he responsible with his words and his actions? He said them. He sent them, and he has to know his supporters. He knows, and stuff like that. What they're about and so forth. That's the big thing. Let me kind of look at here for a minute. There's something I'm kind of thinking of. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, I really feel. What's funny is I pulled the strength card, and one of the things, and that's next to the death card, and I actually do feel, actually, this is not money. I feel the Prince of this is also sending all those people to run forward, just like bulls. See, it's like a bull, just sending them going forward. But the Chariot is the major arcana of the event, the major that occurred. But that represents more of the people and the supporters and so forth. And then we've got that death card. And that's what could have happened, but this, was really, we're going to put an end to a lot of it. But I think of the strength card, and that was one of the things that Trump was calling for. You got to take your country back. You need to show strength. That's what he was doing. He was talking about, you need to show strength, no weakness and all this stuff he was saying and everything. So, but looking at that, the Empress makes me feel a heavy feminine, because we've got more women in there that they're going to be part of the change and so forth with this. But I know there's a lot of people that do not, this is the sad thing, is they're still afraid of him, even though he's not president anymore. Even though he's cut off on Twitter, cut off on social media pretty much, they're still afraid of him. And it kind of makes me wonder, does he have things on some of these people? And has he ever threatened them or something? Because, think about it, he had access to all kind of intelligence and things like that. He could have, a whole thing on whoever, all kinds of stuff. So it kind of makes me feel, people are afraid of being exposed. That's always been my thing. One of the reasons that some of these people support him, like even Ted Cruz, back in the day didn't like him. Lindsey Graham didn't like him. They didn't think he should be president. Kellyanne Conway, they're all recorded before Trump became president saying it would be a bad move in their own ways and who he was, and said Mark Rubio's. All of them said negative things about him, but then they ended up supporting him. So that almost makes me feel like, what did he get on these people to get them, to be so supportive of him? What changed, and stuff? But I really feel like a lot of people are really afraid of him, even with him not being president. It's crazy. But I look at that, and actually I do see that death card. But with that Eight of Swords, I do actually feel he could possibly actually be convicted in the Senate. That can be my signal. Okay. So, but at the same time, he does have still a lot of power over people in another kind of way, in a more moon manipulative kind of way, that he still has this. Think of the moon and the ambiance and the light that shines, which, we know comes from the sun. Let's not get technical, but think of the way the moon just kind of illuminates, and does things. He still has that kind of influence, just like the moon rules the tides. He has that influence like the moon. That's what it kind of makes me feel. And I feel it's like, even though he's not president, they still, I feel like they're really afraid of him. I really feel these people are afraid of him. It's not as, I feel like they don't necessarily like him, but they're still, it's kind of like you had a narcissist boyfriend, and they, used to beat you down and break your spirit and all that. And he really did break the spirit of many people and stuff. He broke the spirit of the Republican Party. I'll tell you that right now. That's what it's always had problems, but it was never this bad. Okay. Not to this level. Okay. Not to this level, but he really broke the spirit of that party. And so even, of course, the individuals, he broke them too, in so many ways. So they're like, they dealt with the narcissist boyfriend, you could say, just like a person. And then they're still defending, when somebody says, he was a terrible boyfriend, this, that, I'm so glad you got away with him. Well, he's a good guy. He has a good heart and everything. He just, his childhood wasn't good. This, defending the narcissist. That's what they're doing. they still feel obligated because they were so beat down and had their spirit broke down, that they still feel somehow obligated to defend the narcissist boyfriend. That's the bottom line, guys. That's the crazy thing about it. But yeah, Eight of Swords, we got that death card, you know. I would say the death card is pretty strong to really put an end, so he, like, all those benefits that he would get, I mean, it's in his position. So that actually makes me feel good, but he's still got that influence. There's going to be a lot of people that vote against, but I actually feel we could get him convicted in the Senate, believe it or not. I'm wondering if maybe a few of the GOP, a little bit more, I feel like some of them are keeping it all to themselves for now, what they're going to do, but I feel they're very afraid. They worry about it, but they also, it's not just that, the narcissist boyfriend, but they worry, if they, speak against him, their own political careers. What if all these other people won't vote for me because I stood against Trump? Oh yeah, that's a huge thing. So it comes down to what is morally right and just, and what about saving my own skin? That it's, like where you got somebody like Mitt Romney, he's about, he has some kind of morals. He's like, whatever happens in my career, I got to do the right thing. He's got some real values in there and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what they think about. Oh, this could be political suicide if I go against him. And versus, and this is what frustrates me, the facts and the evidence that's going to come forward. The facts and the evidence that's going to come forward in that trial. Okay, that, and everything like that. So there's going to be, of course there's going to be a lot of opposition, but I actually feel we may be able to get that conviction. With the Eight of Swords popping up there in death, and just put an end to him ever being able to serve in office again. Got that death right there, man. So I feel we got a shot. And I'm very surprised to see that. I mean, I definitely see the opposition. It's a fight and everything, but I feel he's just been running out of luck. And stuff like that. But have patience with it. I just drew Temperance. Okay. And that's one of the things, is like, it's all divine timing. It's all been leading up to some serious stuff. And that's one of the things, when I would do readings, that it would pop up for me here and there. And I always got to remember that we're on Spirit's watch. We just got to be patient with the process and everything like that. So, but yeah, that's what I'm getting. I know some of y'all wanted cards on it. I know you were curious, maybe what I see. I swore I wasn't going to read on him, but, got to appease the fans and everything like that. And I was curious. I was curious what I'd get and everything. I'm actually feeling a lot better about it than I did before I started reading, because I was, you just get so used to him getting away with it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get away with the election. And I knew he wouldn't. And that I knew he would not, because everything, I mean, they were just defeat. I kept getting that card for him and everything, and just everything looked real good and everything like that. Oh, let me show you guys something. One of my friends sent me this. I got this after Inauguration Day. Somebody sent me the Ruth Bader Ginsburg candle. Remember, the Queen of Cups followed me, stalked me, supported me, and reminded me we would be okay. Somebody sent me that candle, and I have her, and it says justice on it. And St. Ruth Justice. So somebody sent that to me, so I appreciated that. But hope you enjoyed the read, and we'll see what happens.